trying to expand all over the region here in Saudi Arabia. I see that it will be so costly and take a long time, and it will be dangerous for the initiative to be sustained. Then I tried to find a solution that could save the time and help me to expand. Then I find another ways. So I work together with the cafes so they can turn the cafe grounds to fertilizer by themselves in 3 hours by mixing it with some chemicals that boost the process. Then they just refill it in their cup and put it in shelves. So like when anyone comes to buy a cup of coffee, they can take free fertilizer with them. So this is the beginning.
Brilliant, thank you. I was seeing Mr. Samer nodding a lot when you were speaking, and I was internally nodding too, because like scalability has its own requirements. So it's nice that you thought of it before like testing and jumping to a different area. Thank you very much, Ghasham. Shaykhah, just like so many social entrepreneurs and social innovators, you have two full-time jobs. You are a medical practitioner in the morning, and you manage the modifier, which is a social enterprise that do consultancy and technical support for buildings to be accessible for elderly and people with disabilities. So my question for you, how do you manage and how do you prioritize and how do you see the future of your career managing both sides?
Actually, assalamu alaikum. Hello everyone, I'm really glad to be here. Actually, I resigned from my full-time job.
Okay, yes. Okay, what a move! What a move!
I was in a situation in National Hospital. I couldn't manage, to be honest, to make the modifier of the social enterprise sustainable. So I took this step. I resigned and fully right now working as a co-founder and CEO of the modifier, because in the beginning it was really, really hard managing both and also giving the full effort and work and the focus into different work. So this is why I took but don't resign until you are financially secure, and also you have support from your family or from your business.
Awesome. Thank you. Thank you very much. Mr. Samer, go back to you from your perspective as being part of the Innovation Factory, which is a student-run organization dedicated to fostering student-driven innovation across the Johns Hopkins community. How do you see the role of education in promoting innovation and social problem solving?
This is a great question. Education is certainly a part of one of the tools we use to create a more innovative society. It's a bit unfortunate that in certain countries, you see that a lot of these innovative or these educational or academic institutions, you don't see them as engaged as I personally feel they should be in trying to solve problems of their own societies. But if they do, I believe that they can create miracles. I'll give you an example. I guess many of you have been to Boston, or at least know about Boston and how many great universities it has. So during my university days in Boston, many years ago, there was a big project happening called the Big Dig. It's basically rebuilding the entire city and the entire infrastructure in the city. And there was so much pride in the academic institutions in Boston and in the students, in the faculty, in the staff, etc., that pretty much all the technologies that were created for that huge project, which was actually the absolute most expensive federal project in history of the US for a city. $20-30 billion. This is how it started. It went way above budget. But a lot of these technologies were created within that society. within academic institutions, hand in hand, between the labs of the Harvards and the MITs and the Tufts and the Boston universities and Boston College, etc., working with the people on the ground, creating solutions. And why did that work very well? Because they knew the conditions and circumstances around that environment far better than anybody else. This is something that I still see as very much lacking in our environment. We see a lot of really good research coming out of different universities. Is it applicable to us? Maybe, maybe not. Do you have to be working only on the local society? Absolutely not. But then if I'm an innovative person, if I'm an entrepreneur who requires certain level of innovation, and if I'm not able to reach out to Malik Saud or Faisal University or any of these universities within my, or CAPS or whatever, within my own community, if I cannot even reach them, what makes you think that I'll be able to reach someone at Harvard or MIT or Oxford or whatever? So it's a part of the responsibility, in my opinion, of the academia within any given area to do that. And this is exactly what's been happening at the Innovation Factory at Johns Hopkins. Also, I actually had a partner who's a professor of entrepreneurship at that same Innovation Factory at Johns Hopkins. And we actually used to use his students for a lot of things related to research on a project that we were working on together. So everybody, again, was happy. The university is happy because whatever research we do that might materialize into monetization, they'll get a part of it. The students are happy. They're learning something on the ground as real life as it gets. And obviously, as investors, we're happy because we're getting inexpensive and super smart people to work with us on all of these things.
Awesome. Thank you very much. Yeah, thank you very much. And I'm a big fan of Boston, so the Pats are always the best. So I want to direct the same question to you, Ghasham, but from a different perspective. I know that you've been innovating since high school, and you've started a student club, and you are training your classmates on innovative technologies or approaches. So I want to know from your different practice, what do you think that the role of education lack from this perspective of a student?
As my colleague said, doing mistakes came up with creative ideas. So providing learning environment without or free from the fear being wrong, it's so important to have creative ideas. So providing the free learning environment.
Okay. Yeah, thank you very much. Ms. Amani, given your background in corporate social responsibility and community engagement, how important is it to be inclusive in our process, offerings, design, etc.?
Can you explain more?
I mean, how important is it to leave no one behind? How important is it to be inclusive in what we design?
أنا أمس كنت أفكر في السؤال هذا كثير بصراحة، ويمكن سألتك أمس. يمكن لو أنا بأفكر بالطريقة الحالية ما حلاقي إجابة، يعني لو أفكر بالسياق المحلي ما حلاقي إجابة. لكن خليني أقول شغلة بطريقة استراتيجية، وكل شيء حيجي بعد. يعني لما نبني استراتيجية بشكل كويس، لما ننزل على الأوبريشن يعني كثير أشياء تتحقق باي ديفولت. اليوم إحنا نحتاج في السياق الثقافي إنه ننتقل من التنافسية أو التنافس إلى التكامل. إحنا كقطاعات ثلاثة، ويمكن من الأشياء الجميلة اللي قرأتها والأبحاث اللي قرأتها في هذا الموضوع، خاصة في جزئية رواد الأعمال الاجتماعيين، إنه القطاعات الثلاثة لما كانت تيجي تشتغل مع بعض، الموديل الجديد بيدخل رائد العمل الاجتماعي لأنه هو المولد لهذه الأفكار. بمعنى إحنا اليوم نحتاج أشخاص بيفكروا بطريقة إبداعية، وبنحتاج نحافظ على أدوار القطاعات ثلاثة مثل ما أنا ذكرت، عشان أي حاجة بكرة يعني نطمح لها من قيم أو عوامل الاستدامة هي حتيجي باي ديفولت. الفكرة الإبداعية أو أفكار الاستثمار الاجتماعي كفيلة بتحقيق الشمولية، كفيلة بتحقيق كثير من القيم اللي بتحقق لنا في النهاية الاستدامة. فيمكن هذه هي الإجابة المختصرة لتحقيق مثلا زي ما ذكرنا أمس في نقاشنا، لما أنا أبغى أحقق الشمولية، لما أنا أبغى أحقق الإنكلوجن، لما أنا أبغى أحقق كثير من الأشياء في المشاريع هذه حتجيني من رائد العمل الاجتماعي في وقت هو يشعر إنه القطاع يكون فعلا قاعد يبني منظومة ابتكارية، والقطاع الخاص قاعد يجي بكل موارده عشان يستثمر، والقطاع الثالث فعلا يكون قادر على تحديد التحديات. يعني اليوم إيش اللي قاعد يصير؟ القطاع الثالث قاعد يبني المنظومة، قاعد يستثمر، هو يستثمر، وفي نفس الوقت لما تقول طيب وين التحدي؟ مين اللي بيوصفه؟ يوقف، ما هو قادر. فهذه المنظومة أنا أشوف أنها هي تنتقل إلى التكاملية. فين اليوم الماتيريالتي أسسمنت أو الأولويات اللي ممكن تحدد لهذه القطاعات وتبدأ تجمعهم وتجيب رواد العمل الاجتماعي عشان يشارك لتحقيق مثل هذه القيم المستدامة في طبيعة المشاريع. يمكن أنا من الأشياء اللي صادفتها أثناء عملي كان في واحدة يعني عملت مبادرة مرة ممتازة في الريسايكلينج من جامعة من كاوست، وكانت تكلمني المبادرة جدا جميلة، بس هي لما كانت تكلمني بصراحة ما كانت تكلمني إنه هي لاقية دعم، كانت تكلمني عن رحلة المعاناة عشان هي تلاقي دعم أو أحد على الأقل يقر بمبادرتها. فلما شفت الخصائص اللي موجودة في هذا البرنامج وجدتها جميعها مستدامة، فما كانت المشكلة منها هي كرائد أعمال قد ما كانت المشكلة كيف إحنا نسمح بدخول هذول الرواد اللي هم حيحققوا الفاليوز هذه في الأخير.
Interesting. Thank you very much. Thank you. It's interesting how collaboration instead of competition will help us like to see the neglected gaps in order to fill it in. Thank you very much. That's very interesting. And speaking of leaving no one behind, Shaykhah, from your experience in enhancing the quality of lives of all people by increasing the accessibility of physical accessibility in buildings. What made you go for this direction, and what is the drivers of this initiatives, and what are the challenges that you are facing?
Actually, in the beginning, we started with the home modification itself for people with disability and also the elderly. Because I was working in hospital, I was seeing the struggles that people are facing, even during the discharge time when they have to go to their homes, or even refusing of the discharge because they don't have accessible homes, or even they don't have the right tools or equipment, so they will use it. So we started with the home modifications. In the beginning was really hard to convince the families that we are providing the service. They thought, we don't need you guys as consultations, as consultants or therapists to come and teach us or do the modification. And also the other challenge that we were facing, the modification itself, because we are coming from a medical background, was really difficult to find the construction companies or even freelancers to help us with the idea, because I know they are following it in a different criteria and standards, but they are not engaging like before in this field or such a service. So we started. It was really, really difficult at the beginning, and it was in 2017, and then developed with the awareness. Later on, we started with the buildings. Was another story because of the government regulations, and also it was really lacking of regulation towards convincing the building owners or even the institution itself to make the accessibility. So we went from applying the service to the awareness itself in the beginning. So we spent like 1.5 years only doing awareness and education for those community people. So yeah, this is the challenge. Alhamdulillah.
Thank you very much, Shaykhah. It's been an interesting conversation, but for the sake of time, I'm going to iterate and I'm going to give a last question for all of you. And if I gave you a magic wand, like giving you the option to change one thing in the ecosystem, what that thing going to be? Let's start from the right, Ghasham.
Partnerships.
Okay.
The psyche or the paradigm change in the head of the innovators, that one size does not fit all.
يمكن الشيء اللي ممكن نغيره الثقافة. احنا عندنا استراتيجيات كثير بس نحتاج نشتغل على الثقافة.
Empowering social entrepreneurs, maybe.
Empowering social entrepreneurs. All right. Thank you very much. I'm gonna open the Q&As. So everyone, any questions?
You're gonna have to start with the question.
The rights for them to be how would you this
Okay. Can you repeat the beginning question? Sorry.
You spoke about the all different sectors, businesses, local communities, society. What about the human rights-based approach where we look at what are the international norms and standards?
Yes.
How can we apply them in the context in Saudi Arabia and address the needs of the most vulnerable communities?
Interesting. Thank you for the question. Actually, this is the core of the social enterprises. So you have to actually know the core of the need from the community itself. We didn't start. I will talk about our social enterprise. Actually, we went and meet a lot of community people with disabilities or elderly and family, the caregivers. So understanding what they need actually was the start of the business. We didn't start before because we want to know what actually they want and what is the service that they are waiting for us to provide. So I don't know.
Can I comment, please? So Abdurrahman, you mentioned in your previous question, no one left behind. So with all the respect, but this is one of the biggest problems we have. The concept of no one left behind, because people will be left behind, and by design, people should be left behind. If we sit here in a panel talking about sports, and I'm not good at sports, I should have the opportunity to participate if I choose to, but just no one left behind, just in my opinion, makes absolutely no sense. And it goes back to the concept of human rights. So are we talking about it from the perspective that it is your right as a human to have the opportunity to be innovative, or is it your right as a human to be innovative? I think you have the right to try to be innovative, but I don't think you have the right to be innovative. That depends on you. It doesn't depend on the circumstances around you. So I think it goes back to the abilities of people to do different things, to the interests of people to do different things. And just as I mentioned earlier, one size does not fit all. So it might work for me, it might not work for someone else. What's important is everybody should get fair and equitable opportunity to do what they need to do, to participate in the way that they find suitable and possible. But then there are winners and there are less than winners. And that's fine, c'est la vie. You can't just expect everybody to perform extremely well in everything.
Yeah, I guess the key word is the access. Giving everyone the opportunity and the access to try is the key word. So Another question? I have questions in here from the online audience. A question here asking about like innovation needs infrastructure, cultural, social, financial infrastructure. Do you all think that these infrastructure are available in Saudi Arabia nowadays? Who want to? It's open question. So who want to answer that?
A short answer is yes.
Yeah. I totally agree, but I didn't want to answer it quickly. And I guess because it's like, for me, like the main factor is the self-motive. And after that, things will happen.
Ms. Abdurrahman, short answer is yes. The longer answer is, okay, yes, it is there, but there's nobody can claim that we have gotten to that level of top innovation, and that's it. If we reach here, then there is no behind it.
Yeah,
It's a moving target.
Yeah.
So you become innovative, you have more interest in becoming even more innovative, and you keep moving that target along the way. And I think in Saudi today, we are at that level where we are capable of achieving and then pushing even more.
Yeah, the goal is not reachable. It's like you chase it and you push it while chasing it. Thank you very much. One last question. Anyone? So I have a question in here, like how can individuals such as research, student, and organization from the public and private sector access and share ideas through the ACLA platform? That's a question for us. Sir Layan. We definitely have to. We're gonna share with everyone the static page for the lab. In that page, you will be able to see the updates of the lab's activities, and we were gonna share like the contacts so that we can hear from you more. So
can I share a final
please?
Oftentimes, innovation is viewed as just coming up with something new, like creating something new. And that's what, let's face it, today, new ideas are really not that commonly available. I mean, there isn't almost an idea that somebody else has not done something similar to it, or exactly the same thing, just in different geography, etc. What a lot of us fail to understand is that we need to work on making these ideas to be achieved in a better way. So focus on the execution of the idea, and not only on the innovative idea, rather on the innovative way to execute that idea. And this is an area that I see in the private sector, public sector, and also the non-profit sector. I see them oftentimes struggling in that executional part. So I would definitely encourage all of them to focus more on it.
Yeah, I totally agree. And I would add to that, like, that the innovation is not necessarily the final product. It could be the tweak that we do like just before the end. So thank you very much. It was a very nice discussion. I would hand it over to Layan again. Thank you very much.